Are you staying safe? Good.
Here's your reward, a new episode of Garden Time.
Welcome to Garden Time. We hope that you are still spending quality time with your family and your gardens.
Remember that the work you're doing now in your garden will pay off later this spring. Here's what's coming up on the show today.
We'll show you some great texture plants for the garden, and we have some wonderful fountains and bird baths. But first, some spring color.
Well, it's springtime in the garden, and it's a time for flowers, and we're here with Sarah from Portland Nursery, who's going to show us all sorts of great blooming perennials for our garden this time of year. So, Sarah, what do we have?
Yeah, so we're doing this a little bit different today. We've got some hellebores, which are kind of towards the end of their bloom cycle, but I love buying hellebores when they're blooming so that you can see what you're going to get. And we actually have those on sale right now for 30% off, so we want them out the door.
You know, and the hellebores are great because they've been blooming so long. And then what else do you have sitting there?
Yeah, we've got some podophyllum, spotty dotty. It's not on sale, but it's got such great yellow spots on the foliage. It really adds just something a little bit different to the garden. And the foliage can be really important.
Yeah, because it's that really large, bold, spotted leaves. So it really does make an impact in that landscaping. Mm-hmm. And then what else do you have there that's looking blooming?
We've got one of my favorites, Iberis, the candy tuff. I like that because it blooms multiple times per year, and it's a long bloomer. It's just a solid, easy plant. And it's got lots of white flowers that can go great, like under trees, over, retaining walls, things like that.
Yeah, you'll see them in a lot of those landscapes where they're just either filling up just a solid mat of white or, trailing over that retaining wall, which are great. So. And then you have another goodie there, don't you?
Yeah, we actually have two more left. We have some erysimum, which is a wallflower. It's got different colors. It's great for pollinators, early pollinators this time of year, and some even have a little bit of fragrance to them. And we've also got a lot of euphorbia, which are almost borderline aggressive plants. So, they're easy. They're drought tolerant, but you do have to watch out. They've got a poisonous sap that is bad for like dogs and kids and stuff. So be careful with those.
Right. I've seen that when you go and prune them back, it gets that oozy white little stuff coming out of the stems, which could really be that interior, for your skin and make rashes and things like that. So
yeah, you want to be careful.
Now, Sarah, these are pretty interesting times right now that we're going through. So what is Portland Nursery doing to kind of help with all of this?
Yeah, we've done a lot. We actually closed our doors for a little bit to completely reorganize our whole store, create that social distancing, cashless checkout. We are asking people to wear their masks and gloves if they have them. Leave your kids and pets at home. It's been a hard choice. We've got staff that are only there by choice. No one's being forced to work right now, and it's something that we feel actually really proud of and good with. My family's there. We think we've done the best that we can in this time. So you can definitely check out our website. We've done a lot of different things, and it's on our homepage.
Yeah. So it's great that, you're trying to keep yourself safe and everybody else safe. And we know things are changing often. So like you said, it's best to go, check out your website, Portland Nursery, to see what's, going on currently. Or you can, check out our website at gardentime.tv and we can click you over. So, Sarah, we appreciate you being with us today remotely, as we're getting used to. But we keep you guys safe and healthy, and we'll see you in the garden. Thank you.
Thanks.
Garden Time is brought to you by Capital Subaru, your way on the Parkway.
I've been a Capital Subaru customer for 15 years, and one of the main reasons is because they treat me well and I want to shop local. The service department is excellent, and I always feel like I'm taken care of here. In fact, they call me now even after I've driven off the lot to remind me to come in and get my car washed. That's service. One of the reasons why I like coming to Capital Subaru, actually, they have the dog area, and I can just walk my dog around the whole area and we can enjoy the outside. I got it my way on the Parkway.
Find everything you need for spring at Al's Garden and Home.
Many people looking for healthcare alternatives have experienced the benefits of CBD oils and creams. But how do you know you're getting the highest quality products? Trust Red Barn Hemp. We sustainably grow the hemp on our farm in the Willamette Valley, then extract the oil in our industry-leading on-site lab. All plants, oil, and final product are tested along the way, so you can be assured you're getting the highest quality CBD products available. Have questions? Stop by our retail store or check out our website. Red Barn Hemp. For family, for life.
The health and beauty of your garden starts from the ground up, and healthy soils begin at Grimm's Fuel. For the best in garden mulch, blended soils, and bark dust, choose Grimm's. U-Haul delivered or installed, Grimm's can do it. And if you're looking for a new lawn, Grimm's can do that too with our special lawn installation service. Grimm's is also the area's largest recycler of yard debris. The foundation for a healthy garden begins at Grimm's Fuel.
Spring is all about freshness, and you can't get any fresher than Blooming Junction. From new and interesting annuals and perennials that can bring fresh color to your garden to the freshest of produce from our fields and from local growers. We can also help you be successful with our full slate of timely and helpful classes. Freshen up your home and garden, inside and out, with a visit to Blooming Junction. Blooming Junction, offering quality plants for beautiful gardens and great tasting food for your table.
Well, it's a wonderful good morning because I am talking to Jan McNeil. Good morning, Jan.
Hi. I have my mask.
Good for you. Well, we're so far apart we don't need it right now.
No, but I got it.
But you know, everyone is home and they're so excited about working in their gardens. And so you really have some interesting information. And let's talk about these birds first.
Well, it happens, and it's probably happened to others as well. A robin was sitting on my rearview mirror of the car and roosting on there, and then would flutter right into the front of the mirror and shake and tap the mirror, and then go back and sit there for a while and do it again and do it again. A neighbor of mine has the same thing happening on a window where this robin is pecking really hard. And what it is territorial, mating season, getting someone's attention. And it'll slow down. Actually, it already has here. Once they mate and build a nest, they'll stop doing it. But it's kind of a unique thing. I mean, especially seeing the bird pooped all the way down the side of my car, and that's when I noticed it had been there. So anyway, just a fun thing.
Well, we're home to notice things like that. So it's interesting to know that they're not sick or anything. It's just normal mating season things.
Right, exactly.
And then you have some interesting experiment that we could do with our soil texture. I love this idea.
Well, it's called it's a jar shake, soil shake, and what you do is you fill a jar about halfway up with soil and then with water, and then shake it a lot. I mean, quite longer than you want, and then let it sit for a day or two, and you'll see the sand, the silt, the clay, the water, and then on top will be floating organic matter. Okay. So I did 3 of them yesterday, and it wasn't you can't see the water. It should be clear when it shakes out completely, but you can look at the percentage of clay, sand, and know whether or not it's a loamy soil, a sandy soil, a clay soil. And keep in mind that clay soils are very nutritious. They're a pain sometimes. But they're a very nutritious soil. And there's a soil triangle that you can take a look at and know what the percentage, based on what the percentage is in your jar, you'll know how much is it. Is it half? Is it a third? Is it a tiny bit, a fourth? And you can look on that soil triangle and know what kind of soil you have.
Right,
but
right.
What you want to do too is know how much nitrogen, potassium, phosphorus you have.
Right.
You can do pH tests and know what the pH of your soil is. Lawns grow at 6 or 7. The vegetable garden is around 6, and your ornamentals are usually lower because we have pretty acid soils.
And then to kind of go on to another subject, you noticed some budworm already on a primrose.
I did. Amazing. A budworm was eating on a primrose right next to a geranium, and it was pink. They're always, that's why they're hard to see. They're the color of whatever they're eating. So they were eating off of a pinkish primrose. But that's really early for budworm. Yeah. So keep in mind, if you see any frass, it looks like ground pepper on the leaves below where they are, you can find them. I tossed him under the hedge of the neighbors.
But you can start with Captain Jack's now as a preventative too.
Yeah, I mean, there's other things that you can do, but I was just surprised to see one this early.
Right. So if you call up your independent garden centers, you would get that recommendation for probably Captain Jack's, which is organic. It's a spinosad, which is a bacteria.
Right.
And then I love that the OSU Extension has put the vegetable module online. So can you talk about that for a little bit?
They can, it's free. And so other modules are not, but the vegetable one for this year, because it's so popular a topic, that it's not free on the Master Gardener website.
Yeah, that is great, because I think everybody is out there. You can put in your early spring garden and get ready for the tomatoes and the warmer season vegetables. But we all have that time, and might as well get going on that and get good information from Extension.
Right.
Yep. And anything else while we have just a little bit more time?
No, I think that's it. I don't think we have much more time.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on Zoom and being with us kind of in the social distancing, and have a good month, and we'll see you next month.
Okay. Take care.
Bye-bye.
So here it is, it's early spring, the days are getting longer, it's getting warmer out, and a lot of our trees and shrubs and our perennials are starting to awaken from the winter dormancy. So once they're starting to kind of leaf out, and we can see if there was any winter damage from over the winter. So like for instance, on this hardy fuchsia, I'd gone through and I trimmed this back last fall because it was a large shrub kind of filling this whole area, gave it a big haircut, and now I can kind of see where the damage from winter is gone and where Mother Nature wanted to take it back to. So we can see that this one is starting to come up from the base, and so these stalks along the top here are dead. This is the old last year's foliage. So we can go through and just snip these off and just allow all of this new growth to come up from the base. And then there's another one. This is a hardy toad lily called Tricertus. It's another one that I chopped back in the fall, and now we can see, since it's coming up from the base, we can see where all of this old foliage has been. So once again we can go through and start removing all of this old foliage from last year, clean it up a little bit. What that will do is it allows all of this fresh new growth to come in and be big and full. So these are some great tips that you can do in your garden this spring if the weather's nice. And so for any other information you want, or to learn more about pruning back your hardy perennials, you can go to gardentime.tv.
Garden Time is brought to you by Portland Nursery, a passion for plants, a nursery for plant people.
Hi, I'm Sarah from Portland Nursery, where spring is our favorite time of year. It's the time to prepare your garden for planting. We invite you to get a jump on spring with our huge selection. Let Portland Nursery's staff of professionals help with groceries you can grow. We've got the seeds, veggie starts, and expertise to ensure your success. Visit portlandnursery.com for a list of classes and special events. Portland Nursery, helping make your backyard your favorite destination at 50th and Stark and 90th and Division.
Since 1982, the Wall has been making local gardens beautiful, naturally. Whether you need a new wall, concrete patio, fire pit, or driveway, the Wall's expert craftsmen can build it. We back up our work with a 5-year warranty, so you'll know it'll last. We use the highest quality materials, including stamped colored concrete, natural stone, and we're the leader in using recycled concrete. Create an outdoor environment you'll enjoy for years with the help of your friends at The Wall.
Since 1926, the Bonide Company has worked with homeowners to make their homes and gardens beautiful. If you have a garden problem, Bonide has the answer. Repel moles, gophers, and other ground-burrowing critters with Mole Max from Bonide. Clean and biodegradable, it's safe to use around children, plants, and pets. Visit Bonide.com to find a local retailer and to download your free Bonide Problem Solver app for your iPhone or Droid.
At Garland Nursery, you'll find
top quality plants,
4 generations of garden know-how,
fun and fantastic garden decor,
and the best in garden supplies.
Come visit us at Garland Nursery.
Since 1937, inspiring beautiful and bountiful gardens.
Well, here it is. It's springtime. You know, the flowers are blooming. The days are getting longer. It's sunny out. And we're here with Carol out in the garden nursery. So, Carol, what do you have for us today?
I've got some great shade plants for you. We'll start with Farfugium wavy gravy. If nothing else, it's got a cool name. Farfugiums are Ligularia relatives. They're zone 7. They're semi-evergreen if they're in a shady protected spot. I like how the foliage is different on every single leaf. They're wonderful container plants, full shade, moist soils. They get about 15 to 18 inches high and wide, and they're a really nice shade plant addition.
Does that one stay evergreen in the wintertime?
It will stay evergreen with protection. If you keep it out of the frost, I've had them stay evergreen. So either under a sheltered porch or in a unheated greenhouse, and they'll stay evergreen. But if a hard frost hit them, they'll go dormant for the season.
But then you can just cut that foliage back and then they'll flush back up. Oh,
yep,
great.
Absolutely. So then another fun we have, this is Gaultheria procumbrans cherry berries, and it's obviously grown for these gigantic, huge berries.
Oh, yeah.
They do summer flowers, and then the berries have been on since last fall, so they hold really, really long. It's another great shade plant. They're evergreen. They do get a little burgundy foliage in the wintertime. They're a slow-growing creeper. 4 to 6 inches tall, and then they'll slowly make a thicket and colonize. But these berries are wonderful. They are edible. They're not the tastiest thing. My dog likes them. They're actually an eastern United States native, and I saw some references to some regional recipes for the fruit online about those.
Because they have kind of like a little minty kind of taste, don't they?
They do, yeah. They've got a really weird texture, and that's what's not the most nice thing about them. But they do have a little bit of a wintergreen flavor, and they do like shade, moist soils, and acidic soils. So like they'd be a great ground cover under your Japanese maples and rhododendrons.
Oh, great.
And then we'll go for another one of my favorite spring ones with a little bit of flowers. This is Tiarella Sugar and Spice. It has these great big foam flowers. Really beautiful cut leaves that get really dark centers, so it's very interesting every season of the year. It's semi-evergreen, depending on what the winter does. The foliage is going to be 8 to 10 inches tall, and then the flowers are going to be like a foot to 15 inches tall, and they make a nice little mound for the front of the shade garden.
Right. And then if you're once the flowers are done and you cut those back, do they rebloom at all, or are you just like
this kind of not necessarily a really good rebloomer, but it's full of blooms up here, and if you look down in the crown of plant, it's full of plant. It's for a Tiarella, it's a very, very long bloomer. You get 3 to 4 months out of blooms most years.
And then you can kind of enjoy the foliage the rest of the year, kind of like the coral grows.
Yep,
right?
absolutely. And then the last plant I have today is Carex Feather Falls. This is there's Feather Falls and Ribbon Falls. Ribbon Falls is solid green. They're a beautiful evergreen. They have these really wonderful wispy long leaves. They're great container plants, park to full shade, and evergreen.
So it looks like a lot of these choices you have could all actually be kind of planted in similar areas.
Yes,
as far
absolutely.
as shady and containers,
yeah,
and get a lot of different textures and colors, which is great to have that evergreen and something the year-round interest and the blooms and the foliage color, kind of a whole package deal.
I really am focused on foliage. I think foliage is a great part of the garden.
Right. And now you have a lot of these plants, out at your nursery, and you have display gardens, and as we're doing our, social distancing, obviously we're keeping our distancing today and doing this, remotely, but, you are open. So what do you doing out at the nursery?
We're open our regular hours. It's very easy at our nursery to social distance between the nursery and the gardens. It's very easy to keep people 6 feet or more apart. People have been coming out. They're very comfortable to be here. They're very glad just to be outside, be in a different environment than their homes. We do have the protocols for gloves, if people want them. We have wipes and sanitizer and a hand washing station. I wipe down common surfaces as much as I can. But people have been really comfortable coming out here and just enjoying a little bit of nature and getting outside.
Yes, and it's great therapy. I know I was out in my garden all weekend, when the weather like this, just to kind of get a little bit of reprieve. So it's great to have, places that you can get to, like in your garden, to go out and get that, a little bit of sanity and able to enjoy
Absolutely.
that. So we appreciate you being with us today and showing these, beautiful plants. And, you can go out and visit your nursery, or if you need more information, you can visit gardentime.tv and we'll click you over. Thanks, Carol.
Thanks, Ryan.
At Subaru Nursery, we talk about going beyond the ordinary. Whether it's new and exciting varieties of plants and shrubs, to our wide selection of unique Japanese maples, or our great collection of tools, garden products, and Asian-themed gifts, we can help transform your garden into something extraordinary. Come in and let us make your garden a showcase. Subaru Nursery, growing beyond the ordinary.
For over 100 years, Collier Arbor Care and Bartlett Tree Experts have provided tree and shrub care services to the Portland metropolitan area.
From large tree and small shrub pruning, tree removal, and stump grinding, we can handle all your tree care needs.
Our arborists diagnose and treat your toughest insect and disease problems.
We also have organic solutions for growing and maintaining healthy gardens, as well as organic nutrition for your trees and shrubs.
Collier and Bartlett, environmentally friendly since 1907.
Find everything you need for spring at Al's Garden and Home.
For 90 years, Espoma has one guiding principle: develop the finest organic gardening products that work in harmony with nature, grow beautiful gardens, and make a greener world for the future. From our soil products to our plant foods, we have always been committed to the environment and sustainability. We use a vast array of natural and organic ingredients and package them in our 100% solar-powered plant. Look for the quality line of Espoma products at your local independent garden center. Espoma, organic from the beginning.
No matter what shade your green thumb is, you can find the plants and the help you need at Wavra Farms. We're filled with an astounding array of colorful plants to fill your garden. In addition to wonderful annuals and perennials, we are known for our hanging baskets. We also have all your garden essentials, and we have great garden gifts too. From beginner to expert, you'll find something new and different with every visit. Wavra Farms, located off Highway 22, Exit 5, east of Salem.
Well, here it is, springtime. It's a beautiful day. We're thinking about our gardens and our patios. We're out here with Diana out at Terra Casa. And what are we looking at today?
We're looking at concrete fountains and bird baths.
And you have an amazing selection out here.
We do. We have a great expanded selection. Our concrete bird baths did really well last year because they have a little tiny bubble. The birds love to sit on the edge. They love to take a bath and get a drink, and there's quite a few different ones to choose from this year.
And so with all these, lots of different styles, people coming out, they're looking at what they want to do for their garden, and they pick one out. How, do they get to take it home that day?
They can certainly take it home that day. If they'd like us to come and set it up for them, we can do that too. These concrete, it's very, very heavy, but some of them are small. But anytime it gets to a fountain, they weigh hundreds, if not thousands of pounds, and we're happy to come set it up for them.
And so you have a service that will do that,
We do.
take it out, and then
We
you
do.
give them all the care and
Yes.
what they're supposed to do with
Yes.
all of that. With such an amazing selection and so many choices to choose from, what as a homeowner should they be looking at for?
So what I consider the backyard to be a sanctuary of sorts, and everyone has a different kind of look that they have going on. I like to watch the birds, so I would probably place a bird bath or a fountain in general somewhere where I could see it. A lot of our glazed pottery we turn into fountains, which the birds love as well. But I would make sure it's something you could hear and you could see from your home at all times.
And is that something that, if they purchase it here, you can help the homeowner with
Absolutely,
the selection?
yes. And it's good to have electrical within about 15 to 20 feet of where we're setting these up, because even though you can use an extension cord, and we have a really great extension cord that works well outside, you do need power, and you want to make sure that your bubblers and your fountains are going at all times.
Right, and so if they see something out here that maybe I want a little different color, you have a huge selection of pottery. And
Yes.
so you can turn anything into a fountain?
Any pot that we have here, we can turn into a fountain. We can double stack them. We can have single large fountains. We can have little tiny ones, self-contained that go right on your patio. They don't even need a reservoir, and you can have big bubbles, small bubbles, and
So it seems like you kind of take the guesswork out of
we try.
out of everything. So they can pick out what they're looking for. You guys can help get it all set up and get them all taken care of.
Right.
So now, if you have a fountain at home that's already in existence, you'll come out and take care of that too.
Yes,
right?
we do maintenance service as well. We can come clean them. We can troubleshoot if they're having issues with the pumps. But we have a crew of people that can come out and help with we don't do ponds necessarily, but anything having to do with one of these fountains, we can certainly work on.
Which is a pretty great service to have.
It is.
So,
Yes.
with such an amazing selection out here and the variety and the ability to have it set up and delivered, it's definitely a great place to come out. So come on out to Terra Casa and look at your great selection. It's a pleasure being out here to see what you have going on.
We really appreciate you watching Garden Time. Remember that all we do is for our communities.
If you want more information about today's show, please go to gardentime.tv. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week here on Garden Time.
Build a beautiful home inside and out at French Prairie Perennials. Inside, we have just the right creative elements to complete your decor. We offer an oasis of unusual, nature-inspired garden and home gifts and accessories. Outside, choose from our wide selection of unique dwarf conifers and sparkling companion plants. French Prairie Perennials, located between Woodburn and Wilsonville. Take exit 278 to Aurora and French Prairie Perennials.
The proceeding was a paid program of the Guston Creative Group and its sponsors.